your body.
Indeed so. I mean, those are the things that are important to us, and I think to a lot of people, especially in this community where our flagship gym is at, as far as being able to utilize what's around us. And that's the way we train. That's how we've trained now for many years, is utilizing your environment around us. And more importantly is not necessarily having hundreds of rows of machines, but being able to utilize the main machine, which is your body.
And in terms of the concept of being in the community, that improves access in Edwin.
Indeed so. We initially picked this community because we found that this area here had quite a few influential individuals, mid-level managers, business owners, and what have you, that could really help us and forge us ahead to getting into communities that we really would want to, the townships, the locations, into the schools.
So that's the vision, Hayley. You know,
Yes.
You want to take it out of, let's say, just the suburbs, that you want to take it to schools and to rural communities and to other areas where, you know, citizens and community members may have difficulty in accessing traditional gyms.
Exactly. There are many areas where there is no sport at schools, so kids do not have facilities to exercise or play, where obesity are becoming problems, diabetes. There are many issues that need to be dealt with. Whereas if we have facilities of these boxes in place, we will be able to address these issues in a much more formal approach.
You think South Africans are unhealthy in general?
Definitely.
What's the root cause? Have you been able to identify it in your 26 years plus in the industry?
Fast food.
Where do you think it's what we eat? We are what we eat.
We are
Exactly that. It is what we eat. If you look back to most South Africans 15 years ago, we didn't look like we do now as a nation. People have more access to fast food, and kids are spending more and more time on cell phones. Children need at least 1 hour of structured play and 1 hour of unstructured play a day.
When you say children, what age groups are you talking about, Hayley?
We're talking up to the age of about 12, of 1 hour structured and 1 hour of unstructured play.
Up to 12.
Up to 12.
And then 12 plus?
12 plus, at least if they have an hour of physical activity a day.
Right. So that's interesting. So you're saying up to an hour if you're under 12,
Yes.
and then 12 plus you need to have an hour a day of physical
Yes.
activity.
Yes.
And that's where something like a gym in a box comes in, because, you know, you don't need to get into the car and travel kilometers and kilometers to go to a big traditional gym. You can have a old shipping container that's been repurposed as a gym in a box for the community. I'm interested to get your thoughts, Dr. Perry, in terms of the impact that health and nutrition is having on our communities, because we've seen this explosion of type 2 diabetes in our country. Hypertension is on the rise, and this leads to several other health complications. What's your advice to someone who may be listening and who may be suffering from diabetes or high blood pressure and thinking, well, you know, I'm slightly too old for going to the gym, or the gym is not for me?
Look, you're never too old to start. Education is going to be the key. Seeking out someone at a gym, at a local school, listening to the talk show, and just gathering bits and pieces of information. We're in the age of technology now. Everything's on your phone. Google some information. Start there. But everything's going to start with educating yourself in what food you should be eating, the type of exercises that you should be getting involved with, how you should be managing your overall time throughout the day, along with Hayley's point on poor food and poor food choices. I think we have sort of strayed away from the time management or quality time, so to say. We're not perhaps paying attention to the things that are important, the family nucleus and education once again.
I like that. So the things that are important, the nuclear family and education. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Both you and Hayley are in tip-top physical condition, and I can expect that because, you know, you're in the industry and you have easy access to your gym in a box and you're working out. But how much of it, in terms of what we eat as South Africans, this reliance on white refined carbohydrates, the high carb diets that people are eating, consuming white breads and white rice, and pastries and lots of nice tasty things like donuts and cheeseburgers. And Hayley's just mentioned that the food is the #1 culprit. Do you think our reliance on carbohydrates and white refined carbohydrates is leading to this challenge we're facing?
Well, it's very addictive. My mentor taught me that we slowly dig our own grave with our teeth. So we found that with a whole body, you need whole foods. So for us to have that proper balance in all of the systems of our body, to be energetic, to have a good day, to find your relationship